Hello, my peeps, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast with yours truly.
I will be keeping an eye out for EOC scores. Also, there will be after-school tutoring tomorrow with Mr. Phillips. For today's workbook, page 73, problems 13 and 14. Please complete these problems on a piece of graph paper. You will have a 5-question EOC quiz this week on your new packet. Your new packet will be due on Monday. I have conveniently posted and marked down problems 1 through 8 for you in Blackboard.
Don't forget, you can be earning extra credit by working out the problems and watching the videos in Algebra Nation. Alrighty, let's chop to it. Today's podcast is going to be on lesson 7.2. We are still working with linear systems. This time we're working on linear systems with substitution. In our last series of podcasts, we solved linear equations by graphing them. Remember, in the last series of podcasts, we said you can graph a system of linear equations wherever the lines intersect or where they touch is your solution. Or we said which streets, an ordered pair, did the accident happen at? Wherever they touch would be the solution. In today's podcast, we're going to solve linear equations a little differently. We're going to solve them using substitution. Dun 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 dun. So let's solve a problem using substitution, and in a couple minutes the picks will make sense. Alright, I'm going to ask that you write down the linear system y equals 3x plus 2. That's equation 1. And please write down equation 2, x plus 2y equals 11. Remember, they are both linear equations, but when we have two linear equations, we refer to that as a system. Notice the difference here. In this equation, equation 1, y is already by itself. Y is all by itself. Since y is on one side of the equal sign all by itself, we're going to use substitution. So you might be saying to yourself, well, how do I know when I use substitution? Anytime you see one of the variables all by itself on one side of the equal sign, that's when we use substitution. Three x plus 2 is a quantity. It's like peas and carrots. Forrest Gump. Sorry, if you didn't see the movie, check it out. Because Forrest Gump makes a comment in the movie, me and Jenny, we was like peas and carrots. We was always together. So we are going to substitute 3x plus 2 anytime we see y. So I'm going to take 3x plus 2 and I'm going to substitute it for the variable y. I'm going to take y out. I'm going to put in the quantity 3x plus 2. Remember, 3x plus 2 is like peas and carrots. They was always together. So now, this is what my problem is going to look like. I took out the y, and I put in the quantity 3x plus 2. Now, I'm going to do the distributive property. I'm going to distribute 2 with 3x. 2 times 3x gives me 6x. 2 distributed with positive 2. 2 times positive 2 gives me positive 4. After I distribute, I'm going to copy down the rest of my problem. So I have x plus 6x plus 4 equals 11. Now I'm going to go old school and do heart and stars. Your choice. You can do the hearts first or the stars first. I'm going to remember that there is an invisible coefficient of 1 here. I choose to do my hearts first. If you want to do stars, N, P. I'm going to put the 1x and the 6x together. They're on the same side, so I'm going to add them. 1x plus 6x is going to give me 7x. I copied the rest of my problem. Now I'm going to put my stars together. Remember, they're on opposite sides of the fence. So when you leave the district, you're going to do the opposite. The opposite of adding 4 is to subtract 4. When I subtract 4 on both sides, these will cancel. I now have 7x equals 7. Divide both sides of my equation by 7. I get x equals 1.
Wow! Woo!
Now that I've solved for x, I'm going to go back and solve for y. Now that we solve for x, we're going to substitute or plug and chug the answer that we got for x back into one of the equations. So your choice, you can take 1 and put it back in for x here, or you can take 1 and put it back in for x here. It doesn't matter. You can choose either equation to solve for y, but I think it'd be easiest to use the first equation, equation number 1. Why am I going to use equation number 1? I think it's easiest because if you notice that my y, or my tornado, is already all by itself. So this is equation number 1. I'm going to substitute, take out x. I'm going to put in the 1. They were touching each other. That means multiplication. Follow the order of operations. I now have 3 plus 2, which gives me 5. Y is going to equal 5. Our solution, we got 1 for x. We got 5 for y. We have an ordered pair. Become a master of substitution, and you'll be able to hit the jackpot on the EOC.